other side of the theme from conflict, we have compromise. The overall compromise of the Munich Agreement came after some lengthy negotiation. The leaders of the four European powers, Edouard Daladier, Benito Mussolini, Neville Chamberlain, and Adolf Hitler, agreed on a plan proposed by Italy that would allow Germany to seize the Sudetenland. This agreement was signed on September 30th, 1938, and would be known as the Munich Agreement. The photo to the left of the overall compromise shows the four leaders of the countries shaking hands after signing the agreement. Directly below, we have the terms and conditions of the agreement. The agreement concluded at Munich September 29, 1938, between Germany, Great Britain, France, and Italy. Germany, the United Kingdom, France, and Italy, taking into consideration the agreement which has been already reached in participle for the cession to Germany of the Sudeten German territory, have agreed on the following terms and conditions governing the said cession and the measures consequent thereon, and by this agreement they each hold themselves responsible for the steps necessary to secure the fulfillment. Number 1. The evacuation will begin on the 1st of October. Number 2. The United Kingdom, France, and Italy agree that the evacuation of the territory shall be completed by the 10th of October, without any existing installations having been destroyed, and that the Czechoslovak government will be held responsible for the carrying out of the evacuation without damage to the said installations. Number 3. The conditions governing the evacuation will be laid down in detail by an international commission composed of representatives of Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, and Czechoslovakia. 4. The occupation by stages of the predominantly German territory by German troops will begin on the 1st of October. The four territories marked on the attached map will be occupied by German troops in the following order: the territory marked number 1 on the 1st and 2nd of October, the territory marked number 2 on the 2nd and 3rd of October, the territory marked number 3 on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of October, the territory marked 4 on the 6th and 7th of October. The remaining territory, preponderantly German character, will be asserted to the aforesaid international commission. Forthworth will be occupied by German troops by the 10th of October. Number 5. The international commission, referred to in paragraph 3, will determine the territories in which a plebiscite is to be held. These territories will be occupied by international bodies until the plebiscite has been removed. The same commission will fix the conditions in which the plebiscite is to be held, taking as a basis the conditions of the Seer plebiscite. The Commission will also fix a date not later than the end of November on which the plebiscite will be held. 6. The final determination of the frontiers will be carried out by the International Commission. The Commission will also be entitled to recommend to the four powers, Germany, the United Kingdom, France, and Italy, in certain exceptional cases, minor modifications in the strictly ethnographical determination of the zones which are to be transferred without plebiscite. Number 7. There will be a right of option into and out of the transferred territories. The option will be exercised within 6 months from the date of the agreement. A German Czechoslovak commission shall determine the details of the option, consider ways of facilitating the transfer of population, and settle questions of principle arising out of the said transfer. Number 8. The Czechoslovak government will, within a period of 4 weeks from the date of the agreement, release from their military and police forces any Sudeten Germans who may wish to be released, and the Czechoslovak government will, within the same period, release Sudeten German prisoners who are serving terms of imprisonment for political offenses. Munich, September 29, 1938. Signed Adolf Hitler, Neville Chamberlain, Edouard Daladier, and Benito Mussolini. To the left of the second page of the agreements, you will find the final paragraph of the agreement and the four signatures of the leaders: Adolf Hitler, Neville Chamberlain, Edouard Daladier, and Benito Mussolini. Directly below the second page of the agreement and the signatures of the four leaders, there is another quote by Winston Churchill. This quote reads, "You were given the choice between war and dishonor. You chose dishonor, and you will have war." This quote was to Neville Chamberlain, and it means that the Allies had the choice of whether to honor their ties with Czechoslovakia and attempt to further prevent Germany from seizing the Sudetenland, or to give in to Germany and allow them to have to do the Sudetenland. By giving in to Germany, it allowed them to fuel their want for more and more land. This relates to Churchill's previous quote, in which he stated, "And do not suppose that this is the end. This is only the beginning of the reckoning. This is only the first sip, the first foretaste of a bitter cup which will be preferred to us year by year by a supreme recovery of moral health and martial vigor. We arise again and take our stand for freedom as in the olden time. This relates to that quote because it was only a small taste of land that Hitler conquered, and he wanted to conquer more and more. As you can see, the final piece of information on this panel can be found at the very bottom. This is a map highlighting the territories that Germany and other nations owned during the period of pre-war. From the years 1933 to 1939, Germany had owned all the territory highlighted in brown. To the left of this brown territory is the Rhineland, which, as you can see, was conquered in March of 1936. To the right of this brown land was the Sudetenland, which was annexed in September of 1938 through the Munich Agreement. In a slightly darker hue of red, we have the territory owned by Slovakia and the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia, which was made safe in March of 1939. Even farther to the right, we have areas highlighted in gray. These areas were annexed by Hungary and Poland, but used to be parts of Slovakia. And in the darkest shade of red, towards the bottom, we have the territory that is owned by Austria as of March 1939.